The irony of today's podcast is we have had a hard time making time for ourselves this week. We are at our podcast deadline right now, and we kept pushing it off. We had things get in the way, and we almost let it slip off the calendar. Mm-hmm. So what we want to talk about today is not related to us trying to make time to sit down and talk, but the fact that most of us push off. This is a commitment that we've made. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we said we were going to do this every week. Most of us push off commitments that might be very high priority to us.
Yeah.
And they have a tendency to get shoved away.
Yeah. Oh, especially, yeah, and also push off stuff that involves ourselves, like, or it could be the betterment for ourselves, or just tend to get pushed off.
Yes, those calendar or those appointments with yourself are the first ones to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about today is how do we ensure that when you make a priority to yourself, it remains a priority? And what is that? We relate this to fitness, but you can really relate it to anything you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So like, I think this thing's weird. So like, I have this off my headphone really quick, so it's like throwing me off. Sorry. No. So so like thinking about it, like as in priorities. When you make a priority, you need to make sure that you block out the time for that priority. If you make a priority without blocking out the time, then that priority is inevitably going to move its way down the priority list based off of a time commitment. Right. So, and time is it's a finite
all the same amount.
Right. Now, you may say, I don't have time, where you can always find time, but there are or certain different commitments that require a specific period of time.
Yeah. Right? What was the example that you gave me yesterday of one of our clients that will go unnamed? He was listing his priorities.
Oh, yeah. No, and it wasn't even him. It was talking about someone that had talked to him a long time ago, was talking about how he had found out, like later on life, this isn't even one of our people, but he had said, like, when he was 50 years old, he's like, all right, my priority's been all on work, not on family. So he had started sitting down, and he would block out his time based on his priorities, right? So first priority was faith, and then family, and then fitness, and then any time that he had left over from that would then directly translate into work time, right? And so he listed out, apparently he listed out his priorities in life first and what meant the most to him and what gave him
biggest impact,
but also what he impacted the most, which then in turn, I can only assume this, probably led into a greater return on his work. Right? Because his focus in the beginning was bang, 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 lined out that amount of time. Now the remainder of time is going to go towards work, and he's going to focus on 100%.
And you're going to be able to fully focus on it. So I think what I think about with fitness and how I sneak it in is the impact that it's going to create when I do go to work. Because for those of us who haven't got that workout in, or you didn't work out yesterday, and you're sitting at work, whether or not you believe it, it's eating away at your subconscious.
Oh,
and it's kind of this debt burden that sits there. So if you just kind of clip the cord and go get that workout in, or go do whatever you have to do to, so say health is a priority. If you do whatever you need to do on that list to make health a priority, everything else that's left over is going to be that much more impactful.
Oh, and I'll be like first one to admit, like when it comes to my day, and I will block out my day a majority of the time based on my workout, right? Now, I don't like sit down and schedule my day around a workout, but I look at my day and how it looks, and I say, all right, at this time, I'm going to work out, right? If I miss that little block of time, and Debbie will tell you this, right? If I miss that block of time,
Grumpy bear.
You might as well just forget about anything else that I'm doing, because I'm going to be like, hey, I might be grumpy bear, right? And I will say, hey, I got to get this in, right? That is because I've made fitness a decently high priority on my list, right? Probably higher than it needs to be right now with how everything's, changing. And so I'm kind of realigning those priorities, seeing what I want to do with them right now. But when I don't get that in, I know for a fact the rest of the day is going to be gauged kind of right. All right, well, when am I going to fit it in now? Let's make this happen. Whereas if I get it in on that time domain, right, so I block it out for 2 o'clock. If I get my workout in from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I can guarantee you I'll be 10 times as productive from 3 o'clock
the rest of the day. So I think what the takeaway here is abundantly simple, is schedule, whether it's your work, we're using the workout as an example because we're sitting in the gym right now, but if you said you were going to read this week and you said you wanted to finish this book and you say it without putting it on your calendar, the likelihood of that actually happening is dismal.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for a workout. If you say you're going to work out 4 times this week, put it on the calendar 4 times this week.
Oh, absolutely.
Chances are you don't miss meetings that you put on your calendar, and it should be just the same for your workout.
Well, and the workout should be treated as a meeting because
Right.
it's easily pushed aside, because if it's not a priority, then it's like, well, I guess I have to miss the gym. Why? You put it on the calendar for a reason. Why are you missing?
You're putting yourself to the curb. You wouldn't do that for your kid. If you said you're going to your kid's game and it's on the calendar, you're going to go to your kid's game. So I think it's not fair to you that you're pushing yourself off. You're going to be a better dad, a better mom if you are holding yourself accountable. So
and I like one thing with that is like when you're saying, when he puts his the priorities in that family time, like just thinking about that for myself. When you go and try and have like completely uninterrupted, non-distracted family time, that's a lot different than on your phone family time,
or you're just home.
You're home. You're there, but you're not. You're in the vicinity, but you're not really there. Right. And so there's at one point in time I had made it a priority that I was going to give, and it sounds so small when you say it, but it means a lot. Like Weston, 15 minutes, uninterrupted. Intensity, right? And so, like, okay, I made that a priority, and that was a time block, and I said, all right, 15 minutes, and then put your phone somewhere else. Put some, because we can, as parents, we can get so like caught up in, well, let me just check something really quick. It makes a huge difference.
They're watching.
Oh my gosh, they're watching. Yeah.
And they see where you're putting your attention. So I love that, and I put a block on the calendar too. I do a 30-minute block on Wednesdays, and I just try to spend my Duke time, and give him that 30 minutes of time like he got this morning, and just like lock that down.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why it could be different from fitness. It doesn't have to be
It
family. Whatever commitment that you make for time, hold it,
lock it down,
and keep up with it.
Yeah,
And you can even say it is 30 minutes. Set a 30-minute timer.
Yeah.
Like do an AMRAP thing for 30 minutes.
It's a big deal. So, guys, put it on the calendar, whatever it is. If it's a priority, if it's a priority to you, or if it's a priority, it's got to be a priority to you, but if you're the only person that it's important to, it's got to go on your calendar, because nobody else is going to make you do it. So put your priorities down, and we're going to do the same and make sure we record this in a little more timely manner for next week. You guys have an awesome day, and we'll talk to you next week.